Welcome back to BrainFLoTv / Hot Topics TV. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. No delay, let's get right into the topic. Things are getting really hot right now for P. Diddy. It all falls apart, it all comes together, and it all falls apart again. Y'all remember that shooting that took place in New York City back in 1999 that involved Jeniffer Lopez being there. At the time she was dating Puffy, and Shyne, who was his artist back then, actually ended up taking the fall for it and doing almost a decade in prison for it. Well, word on these streets is that the feds are thinking about reopening this case because they have some unfinished business with this situation, especially since an eyewitness has come forward to say what she said. This is what she said. She said Puffy was the one that did the shooting. Who better to ask than the person who got shot right between the eyes? I stood there and I watched Jeniffer Lopez hand Puffy the gun, and Puffy fired it, shot me in my face. Whoa. Now they're asking, how come you didn't say that back then? She said, I did. But he has so much money and so much clout, and for some reason, they buried my statement. Well, back at it again. So, shout out to Forbes. With Sean Diddy Combs in the spotlight after the FBI just raided all his homes, past allegations including his involvement in the 1999 New York City club shooting has sparked renewed interest by law enforcement into Diddy's business, including allegations that he was the one that shot that lady in the face during the incident with his girlfriend back then, who was Jeniffer Lopez at the time. Listen, I'm going to put this out there right now like this, right? Jeniffer Lopez has become somewhat of America's sweetheart. She is the go-to Latina. She is the body. She is the this, the that, the other. She has come a long way from being some backup dancer, JLO on the block even. She has solidified herself in a whole nother dimension, and she is a conglomerate by herself. Today, Jeniffer Lopez is worth a whole lot of money. I don't see her going down for any of this. They could bring her back and say, you lied back then to cover up whatever. But the most she'll probably get hit with is something in a civil suit. I don't see her going to prison. Just like I said to everybody else, I don't see Puffy going to prison either. I see Puffy getting caught up in a civil suit and having to pay out a whole lot of money in multiple situations. Worst comes to worst. But seeing him in handcuffs, going to prison to do a whole lot of time like R. Kelly, I don't think that's going to happen. By the way, somebody said, yo, could you please do a research and look it up and let us know, did they really find tunnels under Puffy's LA mansion that led straight to the Playboy mansion? And I looked it up, and it turns out to be false information. So that's the internet for you today. Everybody got information on the internet. Some people are telling the truth. Some people are telling lies. Some people are sensationalizing stories and mixing a little bit of truth with a little bit of lie to get some reaction. It's all about clicks and views and likes. Nobody is getting straight to the story. Well, I shouldn't say nobody is getting straight to the story, but there's a lot of mixed up information out here. So, no, they did not find any tunnels under Puffy's mansion that leads to the Playboy mansion or any other place. Now, back to this story. In December of 1999, Puffy and Jeniffer Lopez and his bodyguard at the time, who was Wolf, he was known as Wolf Jones, Anthony Wolf Jones, and a 21-year-old young rapper, Jamal Burrow, otherwise known as Shyne. He was a protege of Puffy back then. He was blowing up. He was big. He had that heavy voice. You should have been there to see it, man. But anyways, they were involved in a little disagreement at a club in New York City in Manhattan. They were out for the evening, doing their thing, popping their collars, buying bottles. You know how it goes, superstar lifestyle. That night ended up with gunfire and left 3 people injured. Puffy, Jeniffer Lopez, and Shyne left the club, and the police was chasing them through New York City. That chase ended with the police finding a stolen gun in the car that night. Now, Nathaniel Rubin One of the three people who got shot during that altercation maintains to this day that Puffy was the one who shot her right in the face, and she has renewed her accusation in recent days, especially with all the heat that's been coming down on Puffy recently with the raids on his mansion and all that other stuff. Now, Puffy and Jennifer Lopez, they were arrested back then. They were detained and they were initially charged for their involvement in the shooting. But boom, bang, bang, paid a lot of money, got some high powered lawyers, and quickly all the charges got dropped. May I tell you also that quickly Jennifer Lopez got as far away from Puffy as she could. And today, I don't even think they speak to each other. I think Jennifer Lopez, at the time, a lot of people say she was sexing her way to the top. I don't know if that was the case, but I do know that she was in there in the industry working her way up. I mean, she started out as a background dancer. You know what I mean? And it went from her started out as a background dancer to her working her way up. You know how Hollywood goes. You probably could sleep with this person. They'll give you that part. This, that. A lot of people said that that's what Jennifer was doing. I don't know. I'm not accusing her of doing that. I'm just saying. Now, Puffy, Shyne, Lopez, they all face charges, some serious charges, right? And they got some big lawyers. They got the charges dropped. Attempted to bribe. They said at that night that Puffy actually attempted to bribe the driver of the car that left the nightclub to tell the police that the gun in the car was his, because at the time he didn't want Shyne getting in trouble, because Shyne was the hottest thing on the music scene then. You don't want to lose your number one moneymaker, your hot artist, right? Boom. That didn't work. After a few weeks long trial, Puffy and Jones were acquitted, but a New York jury found Burrow guilty of 5 charges, including criminal possession of a weapon, first-degree assault, and reckless endangerment, although Shyne was acquitted of attempted murder. If you know the history, you will know that Shyne and Puffy went through bad dealings after that, because Shyne felt like, yo, I was just a young 21-year-old from the street, you the mogul, but you threw me under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else there saying they don't know who shot the gun. They couldn't see who did it. You went up there and said, I did it. I shot the gun. So you basically rolled me up and threw me under the bus. And I understand that somebody had to take the fall, but damn, you ain't had to do me like that. And for the longest, Shyne did his time in prison. Came out, got deported to Belize. Him and Puffy had no dealings. I think today Shyne is on diplomatic status. He is heavy into politics. He is a prominent politician in Belize today. He gets to travel back to the U.S. and he is now back in the circle of all the big wigs and billionaires and millionaires and whatnot. It's been a long journey for him. But back to this story. Shyne was sentenced and he served 9 years for those charges, though no one was ever charged and found guilty for the actual shooting itself. So this is where they're like, we missed an opportunity. Somebody shot that gun and we need to have somebody found guilty for that or held accountable for that shooting. Well, we have an eyewitness, allegedly. Ruben was re-interviewed and interviewed again on News Nation earlier this week and said that she was willing to have a doctor remove parts of the bullet fragments that are still in her face from the shooting back in 1999 if they need to in order to reopen the case against Puffy. Who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dead in between my eyes, is what she said. Ruben is her name, right? She said during the interview, now last month, Little Rod Jones Jr. filed a civil lawsuit, which everybody knows about right now because of that civil lawsuit, why it triggered the raids on Puffy's mansions, there was a lot of detailed information inside of Little Rod's lawsuit itself. Little Rod has since gone into hiding. He left a message on Twitter or X that said, I'll no longer be doing any public events, any gigs. I'm gonna go into hiding for a minute, lay low. I've been getting some serious threats, and you know, my kids' safety, my family's safety come first. So until I feel like the air is clear and it's good for me to come up, I'm laying low. I won't be seen anymore or heard from. And then he disappeared, right? Which kind of entails that he was getting threats, which also is the reason why they actually pressed and went up into Puffy's mansions. Now, in the lawsuit, there's some details in y'all haven't heard the half of what Lil Rod has put in these lawsuits. I want y'all to put stuff in perspective, right? Lil Rod lived in Puffy's homes, more than one. I think he listed 3 mansions he lived in, plus a yacht that Puffy chartered somewhere out in the Caribbean, and he lived in all 4 locations over a period of 13 months, 1 year and 1 month. That was a lot of time for him to see a lot of shit and gather a lot of evidence, which he did. Now, in the lawsuit, Lil Rod claims that Puffy had displayed his guns and bragged about getting away with shooting people. According to USA Today, Lil Rod alleged in the lawsuit that Puffy shared that he was responsible for the shooting in the nightclub in New York City with rapper Shyne. The 1999 shooting where Ruben said, "I got shot in my face, and who better to ask than a person who got shot right between the eyes, and I saw Jeniffer Lopez hand Puffy the gun, and Puffy fired it." Jones also alleged that Jeniffer Lopez carried the firearm into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. When the lawsuit was initially filed in February, Combs' attorney, Sean Hawley, released a statement calling Lil Rod a liar, and he said that Lil Rod had filed a $30 million lawsuit shamelessly looking for a payday kind of thing. It was all about a money grab for him. Now watch this. It get bad. It get real bad. Now, while the trial against Puffy and Shyne were underway, Shyne had released his self-titled album back in the day, Shyne, and it peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 charts while he was in prison. In 2004, he released a second album called Godfather Buried Alive. That reached number 3. After his release from prison in 2009, Shyne was deported back to his home country, Belize. Lucky for him, though, he wasn't just some nobody who went back to some slums and went back to poverty. His daddy was Dean Burrow. Actually, he was the Prime Minister of Belize. So imagine getting deported from U.S. back to the country where your daddy was already the Prime Minister of that country. I don't know why he was in New York living in poverty while his daddy was the Prime Minister of Belize, but I guess him and his dad mended their relationship. They got tight when he got back. He changed his ways. He got into politics. He is now a refined individual who doesn't even seem the same as he was back then, and rightfully so. He shouldn't be. I mean, the guy's pushing 50, and this happened when he was 21, right? So Shyne followed in his father's footsteps into politics, and in 2020, he was elected as Belize's House of Representatives. Now, Jeniffer Lopez and Puffy, they dated from 1999 after he was a producer on her hit debut album, On the 6th. The pair split in 2001, so they dated from 1999 to 2001. A lot of people are saying that Jeniffer Lopez was actually the first Cassie. All the stuff that Cassie said she went through, Jennifer Lopez was the one that went through all that. But Jennifer Lopez just held it down, and she didn't come with no lawsuits after and none of that stuff, right? Like Cassie did. She didn't come exposing, saying everything that was happening. She would carry Puffy gun for him. She would carry his drugs for him. She would hold him down. That's what that was, right? The pair split in 2001, and Jennifer Lopez has remained tight-lipped about their relationship since. She hasn't done any long interviews, what it was like to date Puffy at the height of his fame and all this other stuff, what it was like the night of the shooting. She just lays low. I think Jennifer wants to get past that part of her life and all the traumatic shit that she experienced in her involvement with Sean P. Diddy Combs. She later confirmed that Puffy was unfaithful to her. In a July 2000 interview with British Ellen, Lopez described the shooting as a complete nightmare, and she said, "I was scared to death in that car. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. No one did." Good answer. None of us knew anything. I didn't know anything. Let's leave it at that. $130 million. That's how much Ruben, the woman who said she saw Jennifer Lopez hand Puffy the gun, that's how much she had sued Puffy for back in 2008 because of the shooting. In 2011, he actually settled that lawsuit with all three people who were involved, including Ruben, who were shot during the incident for an undisclosed amount, according to quite a few trusted media houses. Now, the call to reopen this case comes now as Puffy is facing mounting legal troubles, as we can all see. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, guns, drugs, all kinds of accusations, abuse, sexual abuse, drugging people and raping them, and all kinds of stuff is going on in Puffy's world right now. And he's got to clear his name. This man has lost so much already. Like, if you look, Revolt, if you look, Ciroc, if you look, all his big entities that he was the head honcho of or had a big stake in, he no longer has any association whatsoever with any of those, right? So it's not looking good. Now, earlier this month, federal agents searched Puffy's homes in Los Angeles and in Miami, and I believe they also did in New York. If not, they were on their way. The rapper's attorney, Aaron Dyer, he called the search a gross overuse of military-level force, and he said that Puffy was cooperating with the authorities. No need for them to come in like that. Up-armored vehicles, guns with lasers on them pointed at the kids. Mind you, I say it again, these weren't no kids, okay? Stevie J is now saying he was in one of the houses when they came in, and he had like 18 red dots on his chest. Another one of Puffy's sons had red dots all over the back of his head. Like, what were they expecting? Grenade launchers, an army of men ready to fight back? Like, what the hell were they expecting, and what made them come with that much force? Anyways, federal officials told Forbes that the search are a result of an ongoing investigation, and it still remains unclear exactly why officials searched P. Diddy's homes. However, before the searches, Combs was named in a series of sexual misconduct lawsuits. He's denied all these accusations against him, but they have made it clear that they wanted to catch him off guard, and they wanted to grab as much of the electronics, laptops, phones, cameras from inside of the mansions, all that, just to grab them up so they could scrape it together and see what information they could get, because there's got to be something leading to something. I have another theory on why they ran up in those mansions. Remember this. There were a lot of hidden cameras found, and they said it on the news. Multiple hidden cameras were found in every room in that mansion. So, with that said, multiple hidden cameras found in every room. I want you to think, because the next video I do, it'll be something like us thinking outside the box, but it'll be very much on point. Now, November, after a woman named Joy Dickerson Neal accused him of drugging her and sexually assaulting her at a recording event. In a separate lawsuit filed last year, singer Cassie accused him of raping her in 2018. That suit was settled one day after it was filed for an undisclosed amount of money. A lot of people were saying he should have never done that because that was what opened the floodgates, and here we are today. So, my question to you is, do you think that the feds will reopen this case where Jennifer Lopez is involved? And if they do, to what degree do you think Jennifer Lopez will play in this case? And if that eyewitness does come forward and says, yes, I saw you hand the gun to Puffy and he fired it, makes her an accomplice, what do you think will happen next? I'm still asking, do you think that Puffy is going to prison in handcuffs, going off to do time like R. Kelly did? Or do you think he'll definitely not be going to prison, but his reputation will be ruined? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know, BrainFLoTv. If the topic is hot, we are on it. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.